The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back to The Local Show. Tom and Steve here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM. Good to have you. You can also see us on the YouTube channel. Peruse that whole thing and try and navigate and stay away from all the jive that they give you.
The things you're forced to look at, Tom.
Oh, the political stuff is just ridiculous. I keep saying it's spam. Every time they serve me up one, I go, it's spam.
Yeah, I'm just pretty much ignoring it. But I have one focus right now, Tom.
What's that?
I've got 11 days more to my physical, and I have to lose another 8 pounds so my doctor doesn't yell at me. So I've been not eating the snacks at night.
Very good.
But trying my best. So hopefully she's not listening to know that I'm on a crash diet so I don't get yelled at.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So.
Good. Take your vitamins and all that kind of stuff, and you'll be fine.
There we go.
All right. Joe Stanley's with us, new to the show. Joe Stanley, Esquire, founding partner at the Stanley Law offices. How are you, Joe?
I'm good. And spam, it's a good thing you're not the product.
Yeah.
You're not the product because you got a big connotation to it.
Yeah.
My father used to make omelets with that way back when.
Yeah, so my house too.
Yeah.
Not that good.
No, he's 82, so it must not have done him bad.
I wasn't sure as a kid. I thought it was another animal. There was spam running around. I didn't know.
Out of that can, you never know.
You don't know.
Don't read the ingredients.
I've talked to you on other occasions, and I don't think I've ever asked you, are you homegrown? Are you from Syracuse?
I am.
Okay.
Born and raised here, yes.
Yeah. What high school did you go to?
Which direction?
Well, CBA. I went to CBA. I was born in Mattydale, moved to Liverpool, and I ended up Liverpool, going to college, and then graduate school and law school. And
where'd you do law school?
I did it here. Actually.
Oh, no kidding.
It was here.
So I have to tell my
graduate school. And
here we go. Tom's going to drop names. Tom's going to drop names. The dean, his mother. Here we go. I'm ready. Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead. I'm ready. We got time.
I mean, Joe's a little older than me, but still, my mother was the admin for Dean Braveman up at the law school back in the 80s.
Dean Braveman was my civil procedure teacher, and I believe it was for his first year there as a teacher. So
yeah, that's something. I loved law school. I could have stayed right up there. Just saw the rich history of the building and all that. Yeah. So you got out of law school, and then did you stay right in Syracuse and start your practice?
I did. Yes, I worked for a firm, and then I went out and started up my own firm in 1990. So
that's a long time. Okay.
It is.
Yeah, you've been doing this.
How have things changed?
Dramatically, actually. Law has become much more rules about rules about rules about rules. It's institutionalized rules. It's become much more regimented and way more competitive. I mean, there are far more lawyers now than there were 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And, the concept of what a lawyer is, a lot like other professionals, has changed. Now, I don't think for the worse, it's just changed. Change is inevitable. Right. And that's one of the things I'm sure you guys know. If you don't plan for change, it's going to run you over. In fact, you have to really nowadays be planning 10 years in advance to even keep up with tomorrow. So.
Yeah. That's true. Well, even in my DJ world, where we're still playing wedding receptions at this ripe old age, and the equipment. If you don't change with the new equipment and the new styles and varieties of what people want, you just might not. You just shouldn't even be in the business.
Well,
right?
and I think that's part of the problem is that people are frustrated. Is that there's so much change. And you don't have the coping mechanisms. And I see it in my clients, and you just see it in a lot of frustration in the world. And I think they're frustrated with the world and the speed and how much everything has changed and how everything is different. And they don't have the coping mechanisms, so they get angry. And I don't know how you answer that problem. Right. It's a worldwide problem.
Right, but somebody smarter than me a long time ago said anger is caused by unfulfilled expectations.
Yes.
And I think people have plenty. And maybe in your space, if something happened and they expect a certain response and it should happen quickly because maybe they were done wrong, how do you medicate that? How do you have a relationship so people don't go off the rails waiting for something that should happen, legitimately should happen?
Well, that's one of the things about the age of technology, and I'm sure people expect instant gratification. They want instant results because they get it instantly from the internet or from something, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
They look up things, they see things, people tell them things, and they have expectations that are not reasonable. And anybody who is a professional, whether you're a doctor, architect, lawyer, whatever, we now spend our time managing expectations because it's important for people to understand. The law may have changed, but the one thing it hasn't done is gotten much faster. So and that's inherent in the process. You don't want it fast. If you want fast justice, in the days they hung you up on a tree, that was fast justice.
That was quick.
That's not good.
That's not the kind of justice you want.
What made you go into your type of law? Because there's so many aspects of law. What made you choose your particular discipline?
I originally got a master's in ecology, and I was going to be a scientist until, and I thought I was going to go to law school to be an environmental lawyer, which I discovered was the worst thing I could possibly do. Okay. I like to be busy, and what I do is every case is different. There's a challenging scientific or legal question in every case. You get to look at new things. You're constantly stimulated, which I love. I love figuring out puzzles, figuring out things. I love researching to find the best answer in the best circumstances. And that really has served me well. That's why I like what I'm doing, because it always keeps me occupied and always is challenging.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that was the answer, but it certainly makes sense. So tell people, what kind of law do you practice?
Well, it's civil litigation, personal injury lawyer. Everybody I represent is hurt. They're hurt mostly because of somebody else's conduct, whether it's a corporation or another person's conduct that didn't meet the reasonable expectations of how people are supposed to act, whether they're driving, taking care of their property, or running a business. Right. And so, so it requires a whole lot of information about not just the law, but medicine. Everybody we represent is injured. So over the years, you have to know and have to acquire an incredible amount of knowledge about medicine, because you can't make a medical legal determination of the value of someone's case without understanding the medicine, and also without understanding how to deal with doctors and the sometimes BS you might get in that scenario. So. And also, you have to understand a lot of science. You have to understand a lot of science, whether it's the speed of vehicles or how buildings are constructed or how products are designed. Yeah. Or the most complicated cases can be products liability and medical malpractice cases, because they involve an incredible amount of scientific minutia, so to speak.
Right. Sounds like you have to be a counselor and a friend too, because aren't people, this is my hypothesis, people that are hurt, maybe not just physically, but there's a lot of things that they're distraught. Better word, Tom. So to some degree, you got to kind of be their friend, maybe. I don't know if that sounds wrong or not true, or help me.
Well, I think that the attorney and counselors at law part is correct, and in fact, for a lot of people, the counseling part is even more important, particularly in this day and age. A lot of people who are hurt were living on the edge to begin with, and this put them over the edge. And I'm sorry to say is that for a lot of our clients, that we're the only people that they can talk to. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's sad in a world where you have all these supposed connections. People can be so isolated and so separated from...
Let's keep talking about that after the break. Is that all right with you, Tom?
Yeah, let's do that. We're talking with Joe Stanley, who is the founding partner of the Stanley Law offices here in Syracuse, and I believe in Montrose, PA, too, right?
That is correct. Beautiful Montrose.
Yeah. So we'll come back with Joe right here on The Local Show.